was it.
Alright, what's going on, guys? So today, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, we're going to be doing another OPBR tier list, and we did make a tier list before 4th anniversary all began and looked at how the meta was right before 4th anniversary. But now that we are nearing the end of 4th anniversary, we're going to be taking a look at how the meta has shifted and also where the new units, the new EXs fit within this tier list and all that good stuff. There still definitely is a possibility that we might get a final EX to wrap up this anniversary. But that being said, it really is looking like Zoro was the final EX, and the next units that we get will just be Bounty Fest and all that. So I decided it'll be good to just make the tier list now, because I know a lot of new players are joining the game and would like to see what the best characters are in the meta currently. But before we dive deep into this tier list and explore the meta shift from pre to post 4th anniversary, we do have a sponsor for this video, and some of you guys might recognize them, as it is a game with millions of players with over 80 million downloads already, and that is Raid Shadow Legends. A completely free-to-play game, which is amazing if you're a free-to-play gamer like myself, of course. And this game has amazing graphics, which is one of my favorite parts about it, for it being a mobile game. Of course, you could play on PC as well like I do, but I know a lot of my audience is mobile gamers, so you could go ahead and download it on mobile, completely free to play. There's over 650 completely unique champions to collect from different factions, and the majority of these champions, unlike OPBR, you can actually use in the current meta, as you take on tons of awesome bosses. Or if you're a PvP kind of guy, you can take on real players in PvP battles in the arena. There's billions of ways to customize and build your champions, which will differentiate you from other players as you discover new strategies and play how you want to play. One of my favorite champions in this game is Gaelic. And of course, you guys have probably seen him in the trailers and all that. He's the face of Raid Shadow Legends in my opinion. And that's why I really do like using him, even though he is a starter unit. He really does give me that main character vibe. And if you haven't started playing Raid yet, use my link in the description to get Champion Tyrell, 200k silver, 50 gems, and ancient shards, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you start the game. Once you're in game, come find me under the name Soul47. And if you're fast enough, you can join my clan. So just click the link in the description and I'll see you in the game. Also, if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can get some exclusive rewards in Raid right now. So what are you waiting for? Download Raid right now and join my clan, Will of D. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen right now to begin your journey strong with awesome rewards and champions as we dominate Raid Shadow Legends together. So thanks again, Raid, to the sponsorship, and let's get back to the tier list. So this is what our tier list looked like prior to 4th anniversary's beginning. And of course, we got 3 new EXs, which is Big Mom, Kaido, and Zoro. And also 2 new Bounty Fest, which is Jinbei and Who's Who. But before that, we're going to see how the meta has shifted already, and then we'll add on the new characters to the tier list. So characters like EX Shanks, the old EX Shanks, EX Blackbeard, Wedding Sanji, and more are getting buffs on the 16th. Even though they're not buffed currently in the game, I know they will be buffed on the 16th. So I'm going to do my best to use my judgment and see where they would fit now based on their new traits and new skills and other adjustments that they're getting. So we're going to see how they fit in as well. So this is what the tier list looked like prior to 4th anniversary. And for the most part, it is pretty solid. I would say EX Shanks is like still up there, and a lot of these characters are still up there in SS tier and S tier and all that. And yeah, if I just take a look at what we got here, I could explain how the tiers work. SS is pretty much the meta. S is pretty good characters. A is like for fun units, and you know, B and C are pretty much I wouldn't really use them, but of course B is like maybe a little usable if you like the characters and all that. C characters I probably wouldn't touch at all in the current meta and all that. There's a few characters that I definitely know that needs to be bumped up, such as Vista. I did start playing Vista myself, and you know, I realized that A is definitely not the best spot for him, because he still does really good as long as you know how to use him. You get your perfect dodges and all that. And of course the tier list is mainly for newer players, but at the same time I do want to base this tier list based off how good you play the character. So like if you were playing the character at its peak, like if you mastered that character, that's how good the character should be, you know what I mean? So Vista is a character that does take skill, but he definitely does belong up there, and I would move him above Rayleigh. Rayleigh himself, I don't actually find that crazy, so I might move him down a bit. And yeah, let's just keep taking a look. Diamante is gonna get moved down. I think he's a little gimmicky and really not too crazy, just like X Drake. You know, X Drake is cool and all, but he only does damage to like Animal Kingdom pirates and all that. So some other characters I'm looking at here, EX Odin. Odin's still a beast, don't get me wrong, but with the current meta, with like Utas and Kings and Zoros and Big Moms and all that, it's hard for Odin to really shine. So sadly, I am gonna have to drop down Odin from SS to S rank. Hate to see it, but that's just how it be. Many of these EX defenders also might be getting pushed down a little bit because with all the runners and stuff running around, it's kind of tough to deal with. So Zephyr and Kaido are gonna get dropped down as well a little bit, and Kaido actually I might drop down to around here. Looks good. Treble, you're probably looking at Treble. It's like he's still up there, but Treble has that normal attack pull to get Kings off and Odin's off, Yamato's, all those characters with crazy traits. Marco, those crazy traits, he just pulls them off with normal or skill 1. So he's still definitely an SS tier, even as a defender. I'm looking at God Usopp here. God Usopp is great, but that being said, there's EX Kaido, the new Kaido now with anti-heal. So anti-heal's in the meta now, so we do have to bump him down a little bit, and I will be bumping him down probably like around here. Judge as well. Judge was amazing, but that being said, he's kind of like tough to use nowadays just because of the damage output people be having. So Judge will also be getting moved down a little bit. Let's see, let's keep looking. Since this is a league battle tier list, I'm also going to be moving Sabo down, as Sabo is really not that good for league battle. He does amazing in like game modes like King of the Hill, where all you have to do is just fight and not capture flags. But Sabo himself, being a straight attacker who just can't cap flags at all without ruining his whole flow, I do believe he needs to get moved down, because there's a lot of moments where you're using Sabo, you're in skill 1, and you can't capture the flag even if it's free, because you will lose your Mera state, and like I see a lot of that. So Sabo's getting moved down. We also have Whole Cake Nami here, who was really amazing, but now there's so many anti-status effect units that her shock and all that just lost its value. So Whole Cake Nami as well will be getting moved down, and I'm gonna move her down maybe around here or so. So that should be good. And let me just see the rest of this. The rest of this does look pretty good. Paris Sparrow might be getting moved up a little bit with Kaidos and Zoros not nullifying status effects. So he kind of goes up a little as he's able to status effect all the new EXs, Zoro, Kaido, and even Big Mom, because she doesn't have anti-status effect. So Paris Sparrow is actually making his comeback again. He's not bad at all. Of course, there's still a lot of EX Shankses in the meta, so you gotta be careful of him. But otherwise, you could deal with a lot of the meta units right now. All right, so I pretty much adjusted SS, S, and A tier for the most part. And B tier and C tier, I don't think really matter too much at this moment. There's probably a lot you could change, shift up within the tiers themselves. But who really cares about B and C tier? I'm gonna be honest. But now let's take a look at the adjusted characters that are getting buffs. So let's see how they will rank up now. And keep in mind, the buffs aren't out currently. They will be out on the 16th. But I'm gonna use my best judgment to see where they would place based on their adjusted traits and all that. So the first one is the OGEX Shanks, and I had him, I'm trying to find him, where did I have him before? There he is. So he's around here, and honestly, his new buffs look pretty crazy. They adjusted his normals to be easier to land, and some of his skills to be easier to land, so that's really cool. He also has damage reduction now, and also has anti-stagger, which was the main thing that I had an issue with him for, because a lot of people could just keep staggering you. And if you don't know what anti-stagger is, it's pretty much when you know, when you're trying to punch or do a skill or something, but someone just hits you and it just stops you from doing that. So anti-stagger is when that doesn't happen and you just keep hitting no matter what. So with his new buff, he's going to be able to get anti-stagger when he gets status affected. So like a flamed or any of that, he'll have anti-stagger. So I think that's a huge upgrade for him. And with all those alone, of course he has like number changes, like a little more damage reduction, a little more defense boost and attack boost and all that. So with all that, I think this Shanks will be moved up quite a bit, and maybe above, I would say like around right below Film Red Usopp level. Film Red Usopp's still a beast if you know how to use him correctly. But I believe this Shanks will be moved up around S tier for sure. All right, so we're back, and as you can see, we had some major shifts in the list. You know, a couple notable ones: Marco and Akainu getting dropped, and this is mainly because the meta. And of course, we're gonna add the new units in right now. We're about to add those in, so you know, we're gonna talk about how those guys affect the meta extremely. But we have some other shifts, such as, you know, a lot of these characters got dropped down to A, such as Sobamas, Nami, Yasop, Usopp. And I'm not saying that they're bad units or anything, but what it looks like, A tier is mainly for like more niche characters. As you can see, like, you know, these guys are only good for like maybe back capping last second. Yeah, you could do a lot, but mainly that's what they're good for. Yasop's good for flat caps or anti-flat cap, which is amazing, but for me personally, it's super hard to hit. Of course, if you're a great player and that's your main, you could do good with him. So all these characters are really good, right? In A tier, they're really good, but they're more niche. Like, you got to master them to do really good. S tier is more of like hyper carries, like you could carry with them in league battle, you carry your team and all that. And SS tier is just meta. This is what you're gonna see all around, and these are the characters that are amazing. Of course, there's a few exceptions, like you don't see too many trebles, but treble is such a good unit that he deserves a spot in SS tier. So with that being said, that is the adjusted list. So let's add on the new characters. And first character, as you can see here, we have Kaku, but we're gonna ignore that and we're gonna pretend that's Pudding, because you know Pudding wasn't actually on this tier list. So we're gonna pretend this is Pudding. Right, so we're gonna put him up around, or her around, she's gonna be probably like A, but super low A, because her heals are amazing and stuff. She's actually pretty good. So I'm gonna put her above like maybe around Sentomaru level, maybe a little better than Sentomaru, but I think you know, Pudding will still be lower than these two defenders, Monet and Mr. 3, just because the shields are very good. So yeah, I'll put her around there. And next we got Jinbei and Who's Who, which did come after the EXs, but we're gonna do them before, because you know we gotta save the hype units for last. So Jinbei, amazing unit with all the power users running around, like, you know, King, Uta, EX Luffy, as you can see, all these power users. So Jinbei, he's actually gonna go right in between Kaido and Zephyr with this meta. All three of these defenders are amazing still, but I would say Jinbei, just because the power user meta is amazing. And of course, Zephyr does a lot as well against power users. But the thing with Zephyr is that there's a lot of units that get rid of buffs, such as King. So if you're attacking King, you'll get his buff removed. So that's why Zephyr got a little lower than Kaido and Jinbei. So that's where we're putting Jinbei. Amazing unit for real. Next we have Who's Who, who's also a very niche unit, only does good against Straw Hat Pirates. So with that being said, niche units, you know, belong in A tier, like I mentioned before. But since he's still good regardless, I'm gonna put him at top of A because I've seen him just one shot Utas straight through their shield. So he takes away their shield with that Fang pistol and one shots Uta. He does a lot of damage. And also he's an A tier for now, right? Because there's not too many Straw Hats in the meta currently. You have Zoro and you have EX Luffy that are pretty much in the top meta. But you know that Straw Hats are a major part of One Piece, and there's always going to be strong Straw Hat units. So Who's Who will probably get bumped up in future metas when they start dropping more Straw Hat units and all that. So Who's Who, top of A for now, but is an amazing character that will probably get bumped up for sure when the meta shifts. So next we have the 4th anniversary EX units. Like I said, there is a possibility of a 4th anniversary unit, but it is a low possibility given that we haven't been getting too much. We're not even going to get a stream or anything like that, so it's not looking too hot. So these are looking like the 3 EX units of 4th anniversary. So first we got Big Mom. Big Mom is going to go straight to the top of the list as the best unit in the game right now. And why I say that is because she is literally dominating the meta and there's not much you could do about her. She defends flags, charges them up even if you're standing on a flag, and she could capture flags going into runner state and capture them even if you're standing on them. She has a lot of iframes with a lot of her skills. She has status effects, she has heals, she has a lot going for her. So Big Mom is the face of OPBR currently. I never thought I'd say that, but yeah, Big Mom, #1 unit right now. Next we have Hybrid Kaido, and Hybrid Kaido I'm actually gonna put right below Shanks. He is amazing, and this guy is able to backcap last second, and it's so annoying. It's so annoying. I've been dealing with that like so much. This man just pulls up, backcaps last second, and you just can't do anything about it with that insane teleport skill across map. And he has amazing normal attacks that give anti-heal, which he heals off, and his skill 2 also anti-heals, does fixed damage, and also has invincibility. So Kaido has a lot going for him. But that being said, Shanks is still that guy. He's still dominating, just one-shots people, and yeah, EX Shanks still above Kaido. But yeah, all these guys, you got to keep in mind they're different classes. So this is a defender, this is an attacker, this is a runner. So they're #1 in their own realm, right? So yeah, like I would say these #1 defender, #1 attacker, #1 runner. So don't just compare, you know, like Big Mom's better than Kaido. Kaido could be better than Big Mom as a runner, you know? So yeah, don't be too caught up in that. So we have Big Mom, Shanks, Kaido, and last but not least, EX Zoro, one of my favorite units to play right now. And with that being said, I still wouldn't put him at the top at all. And actually, he's gonna be below Big Mom, below Shanks, below Kaido, and even below Uta, which is crazy. I know some of y'all might be like, what? Like EX Zoro, he's the latest and greatest unit right now, like latest EX, he's gotta be top. But that's actually not the case. Zoro's amazing, don't get me wrong, he changes colors and all that. Does a lot of cool stuff. He's fun as hell, but I still gotta say Uta is on top of Zoro because of her shield, her heals, her CC, and all that. She just does so much, and Uta is just insane. Just insane. So yeah, there you have it. I think we covered pretty much everyone. All right, so I know I said the tier list was all finalized and finished and all that, but I haven't posted it since I recorded it. And now the buffs actually came out, and you know, we made character adjustments, and I said I'm gonna do it based on my judgment of the buffs and what they look like on paper. But now that the buffs came out, a lot has changed. A lot, the meta has completely shifted, and the buffed units are much crazier than I originally thought they would be. So I'm here again, and we're gonna be adjusting the tier list once again with the new buffed units and moving up the buffed units a little bit. So we had let's start off with like these guys right here, all three of these: Monet, Mr. 3, and Reiju. All of them got buffed pretty good. Some of them, you know, like Monet is really good now, but still you gotta compare them to some of these other units up here. So I'd still say Monet like maybe a little better than Sengoku, or like around this level now. And Beckman could also be moved up since we're comparing the other units. So Beckman's gonna be moved up maybe around this level. I'd say around, yeah, probably better than Yasop. I'd say Yasop's a little difficult to use. And Sanji, I'm gonna move right above Beckman. His buffs were really good because now his skill 1 has like tracking, and his skill 2 has much like wider range. You could hit people easier with it, because a lot of times with Sanji before, you do your skill 2 and people don't even have to dodge, they just keep walking and you miss it. So now it really does hit. And yeah, he's got more skill 1 cooldown, some skill 2 cooldown, and looks pretty nice now. And we have Reiju as well. Reiju got one of the craziest buffs I've seen because she got the shield. So with that shield, I would bump her up to around Golden Week level now. Maybe below Golden Week, because you know Golden Week's super annoying with that shield and all that. But Reiju's new shield, I mean their shields are different, right? Golden Week's got the actual invincibility, like she effect, invincibility shield. But Reiju has like a Soba Mask type of shield, or Uta type of shield, which is pretty crazy now. And yeah, with her skill 2 range being increased as well, she could protect her allies for last second back caps and all that. So yeah, not bad at all for her buffs. And we also had Mr. 3. Mr. 3 is looking pretty crazy as well. You could just spam his normals, and he's very tanky as well. I did test out all these characters a bunch. I've just been playing and testing them out, so I got a pretty good idea of what they're looking like. So he's definitely gonna be moved up a little bit as well with the with all of his buffs and all that. Shiryu probably gonna get moved down a little bit, probably around this level. Same with Jack, honestly. Same with Jack. These guys are not too crazy right now. Oni Luffy, I don't know why Oni Luffy is so low, to be honest. Oni Luffy should probably be bumped up a little bit as well. I think he's better than a few of these characters. Alright, so we did Monet, Mr. 3, where did he go? Mr. 3, Reiju, Sanji, and the last few characters are Tanky Frankie, Shanks, and Blackbeard. So let's see where they place now. So starting with Tanky Frankie, he's got a nice increase in heals, and also he gets his stacks for his skill 1 faster. So he gets you know, his skill 1 his maximum power for skill 1 faster, and heals more from it. So it was a very good buff for him, and it really feels like whoever did the buffs like actually plays the units they're buffing, because they understand what the characters were missing. So that was the case for Tanky Frankie, and you know, your boy was #1 Frankie, so I already know how he was doing. So I'm gonna move Tanky Frankie around like better than Kid. I always thought he was better than Kid, I'm not gonna lie, even back in the day. So with his buffs now, I definitely think he is better. And as for Shanks and Blackbeard, Shanks and Blackbeard are pretty nuts now. I was not expecting it, but these are the first EX units to be buffed, so we probably should have expected nothing less. So Blackbeard, I'm gonna move up all the way up here, and we're gonna drop down Treble a little bit. I thought about it. Treble, it's kind of like an RNG based unit. Sometimes you get super unlucky and just get clapped, especially in league battle. So Treble will be getting dropped down. Some of these other units might be getting dropped down a little bit too, like Kainu. There's so many units getting rid of you know, buff state, such as Zoro,
King, I think Big Mom, Kaido. A lot of units getting rid of these buff state units. So you know, Akainu being fully reliant on that magma state, he's kind of just not it anymore. So we're gonna drop him down like down here. And Blackbeard, honestly, I guess he'll be bottom of SS, but he is pretty insane. Like he's pretty insane. It's hard to say. It's just like all these other units are so much crazier, but yeah, he's still like really good now. I wasn't expecting him to make such a comeback. You just wait for his HP recovery team boost. If you're low on him, he's very tanky, and now he finally heals when he gets knocked down. So he has this consistent heals for real. So not bad at all. And last but not least, Shanks is crazier than ever. Crazier than ever. And I started the game off as a Shanks main when I first started playing, and he was just nuts back then because it was Shanks Blackbeard era. And even throughout all the different eras of OPBR, Shanks has definitely stood his ground as one of the top tier units if you know how to play him. But this time around, they just gave him crazy buffs. His normal attacks are much faster. His skill 2 is super fast now. He's tankier. He gets an anti-stagger and just a lot of buffs. He even heals now when he kills people. So straight attacker, and honestly, he's gonna get moved to SS. I would say like if you're an average Shanks player, like if you're a new player and you're like don't really know how to play Shanks, I would say he's like around this level. Maybe, you know, like a little below EX Luffy, because EX Luffy is a bit easier to use, spam his skills and stuff, because he's got invincible skills, and you can just spam that. And all these characters have like invincible skills, which is what makes them easier for newer players. But this Shanks, if you know how to use him, if you know how to like counter people well, and always try landing that counter. And skill 2 of course is also easier to land now, so you always have that in your back pocket. So if you do know how to use this Shanks, I'm gonna move him like all the way to the top. This guy is just cooking right now. He's cracked. I never would have thought the OG Shanks era is back. Like, it's just so good to see. It's just so good to see, and I've been having so much fun playing the game again, just cooking up everyone with him. His skill 2 is super fast. His counters, back at it, like one of the highest damaging skills in the game. So if you master how to counter with him, he's really good. And it just feels like whoever gave him the buffs was really a true Shanks main, because they knew exactly what he was missing. He was missing anti-stagger, he was missing some tankiness, some heals. His skill 2 was too slow and people would just dodge it, and now they just gave him everything he needed. And his normal attacks are crazy. Like, he's just so crazy now. It's just, I couldn't believe it. But I would say he's number 1 if you're, you know, if you're a Shanks player. And even so, he's hard to be consistent with, because a lot of matches, if you mess him up in just a little bit, you get punished really hard with him. So for like beginners and like, you know, just in general, playing Shanks consistently is very difficult. So yeah, if that's the case, then he would be around this level, right? But otherwise, he's like number 1 unit. Like, he always has been for me, because I always use Shanks and I'm like, yo, he's still amazing. I could cook up everyone I see. Like, any character I'm fighting, once I have like 2 stacks, I just cook up everyone. But yeah, that being said, it's very easy to get punished as a Shanks player if you're just not careful with him. You mess up your counter, you mess up your skills, you can get punished very hard. But yeah, pretty insane now. And some of these other characters you could shift around as well. Like, I would say Zoro probably better than Uta, and honestly Kaido might be the number 1 unit now, just because there is a lot of blues back in with this Shanks running around. And Kaido, I've been playing a lot of matches, and most of the matches I'm losing is because of Kaido's. It could be one or two Kaidos that just clutch the match every time, and his insane teleport skill is the craziest thing I've seen. But Big Mom, when there's like a bunch of Big Moms, Big Mom's the most annoying character I've ever fought. But yeah, that's why it's kind of hard to do full tier list in this game, because you know Kaido's a runner, #1 runner. Big Mom's a defender, and she's #1 defender. So it's hard to compare runners, defenders, and attackers all in one tier list. But that being said, most of these are interchangeable. This is how I would see it, to be honest, for like most new players and all that. Like new players and intermediate as well. Like, you know, it's pretty much how it works. But it is a tier list, keep that in mind. It's not a top 10 or like, you know, top list where it's every order matters. And of course, this is my preference based on my experience, so everyone's option gonna be a little different. And if you're having fun with more characters, that's why I'll put like Shanks #1, because I'm having so much fun with him, and to me he's #1 because I could cook everyone else with him. You know, like I've used Shanks since day one, and even now with his buffs, I'm cooking everyone. Just like I feel like I'm in my prime again, you know. So it's really based on you. Like that's why I like to say it just what's more important than the tiers and all that is if you're having fun with the characters. Like Reiju, I know a lot of people are having fun with the new Reiju. I personally don't think she's still that like crazy with the shield and all, but some people are saying they like her better than Soba Masker and stuff. So like, you know, if you think she's better, then I'd move her up. Because pretty much if they're within the same tiers, they're the same like level for the most part. You could use different units. That's the point of a tier list, is not a top list, so keep all that in mind. But yeah, that's what we're looking like. I know I changed it up. It was couple days past since I recorded the video originally, and since the buffs came out, I was like, whoa, I gotta act upon this and change up the tier list, because a lot has changed, you know. So it was I had to do it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm enjoying the buffs a lot. I'm having a lot of fun with OPBR. Bandai is doing great right now. Just please fix the hackers and this game will be golden. I promise you, Bandai. But yeah, that's how the 2023, I guess the start of 2023 is looking like for OPBR, how the meta is looking. And with these new buffs, it is looking like a good start in my opinion. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Join the Discord, of course. And I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace.